Hi, Pitch Wars. So I want to talk to you today about waiting. Soon you will press send on your Pitch Wars sub, and that is so exciting. And then you will wait. And that part sucks. But the waiting you will do during Pitch Wars, waiting for the picks to be announced, is so much shorter than most other stages of publishing. There is so much waiting. Even after you have an agent, there's waiting. Even after you have a book deal, there's so much waiting. I have a representation of the waiting in publishing that I think about every time I'm freaking out about waiting, which is on a regular basis. And I'm not high tech enough to insert a video into my video, so I'm just going to actually show this little clip to you, literally hold my phone up to the thing.
Whoops, did I do that? Cut the villains, cut the vamping, cut this fairy tale, cut the peril and the pitfalls, cut the puppet and the whale, cut the monsters, cut the curses, keep the intro, cut the verses, and the waiting, the waiting, the waiting, the waiting, the waiting. What I know.
So that is how I usually feel about waiting. That's Sutton Foster in the Broadway musical of Shrek. So yeah, there's waiting. There's going to be waiting. So I want to talk about what you can do during waiting, during this wait, while you wait for the Pitch Wars mentor picks, and during subsequent waits that you will have when you have an agent, not if, and when you have a book deal, and when you are further along on the journey than you are now, because waiting is just part of it. So the first thing I would say in the waiting is make friends. Use this time. You have such a golden opportunity with Pitch Wars, with the hashtag, with the Facebook group. There's a Facebook group for hopefuls. And shout out on Twitter if you don't know where it is, and someone will link you to it. Use this time to connect with other people who are at the same stage you are, because those are the people who will grow with you along your journey and who will get agents around the same time and book deals, and you guys will grow together. Or maybe you won't grow at the same rate. My closest critique partner who reads everything I write is working on her 4th published book, and I don't have one out yet. But we're still with each other, and she still critiques all my stuff, and I still critique all her stuff. So connect with people. I saw somebody on the hashtag say they would try to get a critique partner if they didn't get a mentor. And I can understand that thinking, and I think that being focused on the submission right now is great. But I would just say don't put your eggs in the basket of getting a mentor, but even if you do get a mentor, still connect with the community. Still find other critique partners and friends, because your mentor may become a great friend, they may not. Even if they do, you can always use more friends, more critique partners. So connect. That's the first thing. The second thing I suggest is to work on the next thing. And this is advice you'll see over and over, and I've written a blog post about it. But the best way to distract from waiting of any sort in publishing is to start getting excited about your next project. I can understand people who say, but my mind is still in this project and I don't want to switch gears. I completely understand that. I would just tell you this. At the very first performance of the very first production of my very first play, I was in college. At intermission, my playwriting mentor, my professor at college, took me up to his office, and he sat me down, and I was all freaked out about what the audience response was. My parents, who were estranged, were there, and it was all very stressful. And he sat me down and he said, "So, what's next?" And I was like, Act 2? And he said, no, what are you writing? What's your next play? Because that play was already in performances. My job there was done, and he wanted my mind onto the next thing. So I just really encourage working on the next thing. I understand if you feel like you want to wait to see what pans out next. But I would just say that I wouldn't have an agent if I had waited for my first manuscript to pan out, because the first novel I wrote didn't get me an agent. And neither did the second one, or the third one, or the fourth one. I got my first agent on my 5th manuscript. So I'm glad I kept moving. I'm glad I kept moving on to the next thing and letting myself get excited about the next thing, because then when it turned out that a manuscript wasn't going to be the one, I had something new ready to start again. So making friends, working on the next thing. If you really, really can't, if your mind is just like too frazzled or too still with your Pitch Wars manuscript, I suggest a huge filling of the well. Reading, watching TV, movies, going to art museums, just filling that creative well and giving your brain a break. You guys have worked really, really hard getting ready for Pitch Wars, so fill the well. When your imagination starts to spiral out, you feel like people haven't requested yet, they're definitely not going to pick me, other people are getting requests, whatever your mind is doing. I know as soon as I send a manuscript to a critique partner, which I'm going to be doing later today, within about a half an hour, I'm sure that they've read it and they hate it and they never want to talk to me again. So I understand the mind spiraling out. When that happens, not if, because probably it will happen, get out of your house, go for a walk, play with your kids or someone's kids, do something apart from writing, because we talk like writing is our lifeblood and we do it to survive. And in some ways that's really, really true for me, and it may be for you, but at the same time, it's not everything. I have real live people in my life, and animals, so just keep perspective. Pitch Wars is not the only way to getting an agent, and writing is not the only meaningful thing in your life. So make friends, work on your next thing, read, watch, fill your well, and keep perspective. Step away from writing entirely if it's getting to be a little too crazy, and step away from the hashtag. I love Twitter, but sometimes it's too much, and stepping away can be a really healthy thing. So above all, keep telling your stories. Your voice matters, and I can't wait to read some of your words very, very soon. Happy almost submission window.